societies and what's going on with them at the moment. I wanted to ask, are you, before you started making movies, were you very involved in social issues and then saw making cinema as a vehicle to spread an idea, spread what you want to tell to people, or was it you made movies and then you thought, this is a good scene?
No, I was in the theatre. I was the worst actor in England for a couple of years, and then fortunately I didn't get any work, and I had to join. Well, I joined television. I got a job in television, and did drama there, did fiction there, and then we managed. Fiction was like electronic, studio drama with big old electronic cameras. And we wanted to tell stories from the streets. So we managed to get a 16mm camera and make films. And in the course of that, I worked with some extraordinary writers. The production team, the producer, were very political. It was a very political time. It was the 1960s, when it was sexy to be on the left, and like that. And the great movement was the anti-Stalinist left, that was the tradition that I joined, was a part of, a very humble member of, and it was a very political time. There were factory occupations, there were the events in France in '68, but it was mainly through the writers I worked with that I really learned about politics, started reading books, which I'd never done as a student, like most students, and became drawn into trade union struggles, and the whole trying to understand politics. So it was through work, really, that I got drawn in. And the one thing I learned, and I think we need it now more than ever, is that politics doesn't make sense without some political theory, and that otherwise you're simply left dealing with one symptom and another symptom and another symptom, and you don't see the unifying ideas, and you don't see the history that brings all these struggles together. And I do think that's something we've lost. Even on the left, sometimes we've lost it, that we don't see the common denominator in struggles. And I think that's something we learned in the 60s. And I think that's absolutely vital, to know how to fight back. So, but no, it was through writers that
First of all, I'd like to thank you for a great film and all the great films throughout the years. Yesterday I had the opportunity to have a brief chat with you about acting, and if you remember, and we talked about the importance of did you get that? The importance of preparation, and also about you filming in a chronological order and so on. But as I asked you yesterday, I'll put the same question about today. I assume at least once or twice throughout your career, the actors haven't quite achieved what you had wanted, or maybe they had wanted too much, or haven't dared enough. How do you then help them out between the takes, I mean? That would be interesting to hear.
Yes, we met, and I know you're an important director as well, so hello. Yes, I think, next to the most important thing is the script, is the writing, is the most important element in a film. But second to that is finding people who can bring it to life. And then the director's responsibility is to guide them through the process so that they are absolutely as good as they possibly can be. But first is choosing, and I think the question's good, is what do you do when they're stuck? But actually I think the key to them not being stuck, we've found anyway, is the process of finding people. And we just see everybody. Actors, non-actors, people with the experience in real life, just see everybody, and try little improvisations that everybody can understand, like little family situations that you could understand, and I guarantee almost everybody here would be good at it. I guarantee you'd be quite good. And then out of that, you set a way of working where nobody fails. Everybody can get through it in some way. And then you'll find some people who are really connect with the camera, connect with the audience, are true, are authentic to the part you want, the right social class and all that. And then, so when you found them, then we just do a preparation, so you prepare a little family situation. So in this, Daniel, we found we cast someone to be the wife who died, and we had little scenes with them, so we had a memory of his wife, and then we had a photo expedition and took the pictures, so that after the few days he had a really strong image in his mind of his wife. And for Katie, she helped us choose the children, and then she spent some time with them. They went on trips. The situation where the little boy was naughty and she got used to telling him off, because that's often what actresses in films find difficult. Is actually being. It's nice. It's easy to be nice with the kids, but when the mother has to really say, really be severe, they often find that difficult. So we worked out that family dynamic, and then just take them through it in sequence. And I'm sure you'll agree, the friend who asked the question, that it's very easy to say a wrong word. To say a wrong word and an actor will go off at a tangent and then get the wrong idea in their head. So I think, we always tend to say, I always tend to say as little as possible, and shoot it in sequence, so that what they learn one day is a rehearsal for what they're going to do the next day. And you learn just from doing the scene. We don't rehearse it, you just play it. And from doing it, you just have an emotional memory, and the emotional memory is then in your mind when you do the next day. And you don't have to articulate it, you don't have to say, how did I feel, because it's in your mind. It's in your heart, or your stomach, or whatever. And the other thing that we've found is really useful is to when there's a surprise, is don't tell everyone what the surprise is. So that when, for example, when Katie goes to the food bank and is so overwhelmed by hunger that she forgets where she is and she just goes to the food. Nobody knew she was going to do that, apart from Katie herself. And Dan didn't know, and the children didn't know, and the woman who was helping her didn't know. So Paul had written 1 or 2 lines for her, which she incorporated into what she did. But I thought, if you're really going to feel the horror of what she's done, then that horror has to be felt within the room, and that will only happen if everyone is absolutely aghast to what she's done. And then the responsibility on the director is to make certain you have the camera in the right place, so that you get the shot that will capture it. Because the worst thing that happens, and it's happened in the past, is that you set something up and the performance is fantastic, and then someone steps between you and the camera, and you've lost it. So placing the furniture, placing the chair, placing furniture to stop people being in where you don't want them to be is part of the process. But I think, and also Katie didn't know that Dan was going to die, and he didn't know until he left the room. Because again, you don't act as to play a part knowing what's going to come. Because for film, it's making the moment live. It's making the moment live. In the theatre, it's different, because you have to have the mechanism to shape the performance all the way through to the climax and the resolution and all that. But in film, it's making every moment absolutely live as with as much authenticity as possible and as much life and vitality as possible. So say he didn't know he was going to die. I said, I'm sorry, Dave. It was the last day but one of the film, and so I'm sorry, Dave. You have a heart attack here. He said I didn't want to die. So I'm sorry. And anyway, but then the risk you take is that the speech at the end, which is obviously is hugely important. I just had to give to Katie that night, just hope that she would do it. But again, I think she was really touched by the fact that he had died. So learning it at that moment meant much more to her than if she'd read it 6 weeks earlier. She'd have been bored by it. Well, she wouldn't have been bored because she's a brilliant actress, but it would have taken away the visceral impact, I think. So but I think I've huge respect for actors. I mean, they're the most brilliant people because they're so brave. They make themselves vulnerable. And I think the best you can ask from an actor is to be vulnerable, is to be open. And then if they reveal themselves, they reveal the part. And that's all you can ask, really. And then you have to take care of them and make them feel absolutely secure and confident and know that they can't fail. Whatever they do, they can't fail. And then you give you everything. And they were in this. I mean, they were just terrific.